Pop the Balloon is just another messy reality TV show, right? Wrong. Pop the Balloon, to me, is one of the most important representations of the black middle class that we have right now. I even predicted on my Opinionated Saw series that the show was going to go to Netflix. Why? It's not rocket science. I saw 1.5 million people coming week in, week out. I know the networks are looking at that as well. But I predicted that. It actually just came true. And we're going to break down why this Netflix deal actually matters, where black media might be going in the future, and why Pop the Balloon is one of the most important representations of the black middle class at this moment.
I'm Lex, and I'm 23, and I pop my balloon because I feel like you could be a tad bit disrespectful.
Voicing my opinion is not arrogant. You know, she asked me if she would be a good fit for me. If I like what I see, it's contrary to the truth. That's not a good look for me. That's all, Queen. But thank you. You did me a favor as well.
Yeah. Also,
let's start with the obvious. Pop the Balloon gets clipped up, 15 seconds here, 15 seconds there. You have Aaron the plumber. You have all these different characters that come onto the show and are trying to go viral or just have a personality that says wild stuff, and it gets clipped up and goes viral. The show is either an hour to an hour 15 to an hour and 30 minutes long. I'm telling you, only 15% of the show is going to be that, and it has to. It's going to be a show at some point. Some people want to see that type of virality. In addition to that, people say stupid stuff all the time. I come in contact with a lot of people that say shit all the time. So if that's all you've seen, you're only seeing 15% of the picture, and I'd urge you to go watch, man. Here's what it actually is. Real people, real black people in the middle class, black people in the lower class, black people in high net worth positions, and doing real dating with real careers. If it's men, it's going to be a person that served in the military. It's going to be a person working as a project manager, working in finance.
I'm a plumber, and also I own a TV mounting business.
I'm a Grammy Award-winning songwriter.
So I own the top black and brown owned education and tutoring company in the country, as well as a financial literacy and credit organization as well.
I'm the owner of Flex Flooring and Remodeling, which is my own LLC. Basically, I do home renovations.
Right? If it's a woman, it's going to be person within operations, person in business management, nursing, healthcare, cosmetology.
And Ken, what do you do?
I'm a research coordinator in internal medicine and also a grad student.
I'm a project manager in the healthcare industry.
I work in finance, so I work executive level complaints for a major bank.
And I also have a luxury and sustainable skincare business.
I'm talking about jobs that are going to pay $70K and up. When we talk about the black middle class, this is what I want to showcase is that name me another show that that puts a cast on week in, week out, and that showcases black people achieving wealth. Show me another show. Show me another reality show. Show me another show in general that showcases black people on this magnitude, getting these amount of high-paying jobs and are being showcased in a positive light. Every time a person that comes on the military comes on, thank you for your service. Oh, project manager. This is getting normalized on this show. Those type of occupations are normalized on this show. Now let's think of some other shows. What? Love and Hip Hop? No. Baddies? No. What's another one? Love is Blind? No. Right? Those are 8 contestants. Only 2 of those people are black people. Which is why I think this show is just so important, is because it's not only the representation on a class standpoint. It's showcasing black people acting like people. Of course you're going to get the bad actors, but when I look at Love and Hip Hop, or when I look at Baddies, or I look at Love is Blind, a lot of this is caricatures for the show. And those caricatures are typically people that are just the producer saying, hey, you should say this. The producer saying, hey, why don't you think about it like this, or why don't you say it in this way? Man, Pop the Balloon don't have none of that. It's on its 51st episode. Great casting. Arlette is a great host that is very hands-off. So if you're going to say something wild, she's not going to respond to it. You're going to see it in the comments. And I'm getting ahead of myself.
Name and age, and how have you prepared yourself for a relationship?
Jonathan, 41, prepared myself for a relationship. I pray to God every day. I've been through plenty of relationships. I've been married. I did counseling. To better myself as a human, as a man, to be ready for my partner.
Wow.
I'm sincere. I'm 45, and the way that I prepare myself to be in a relationship is just a whole lot of self-reflecting. Sitting down, looking over why things didn't go right before, why things might have got derailed, seeing what part I played in that. I think the biggest thing about people is just being very self-aware. If you're self-aware, you can notice your own flaws.
Absolutely.
You can see like, maybe I was tripping, I overtalked, I wasn't attentive, I didn't listen. Just simple things, and it's not as difficult as people might make it to just be self-aware and understand like the same thing that you don't want done to you, you don't do to others.
Something that's very lost when it comes to these type of dating shows. That's like, oh, like I would never go on this dating show, or just it's just bad outlook on this dating show. This show showcased so many different perspectives that I don't think that is highlighted enough. Single dads, single parents, like 20s, like it's matching between 20s, it's matching between 30s, 40s, 50s, people without kids, people with kids, people that have a very strenuous job, people that don't have very strenuous jobs, people that live in Phoenix, people that live in Detroit, and all of them are getting matched up. I think there's a lot of people looking for love, especially older, that has trouble looking for love within their own little small towns. And I think this show gives a really good aspect to it. And there's a lot of people on this show that are dispelling so many stereotypes about black people. And people need to recognize that. I think Pop the Balloon is doing an amazing job. Congratulations on 51 episodes and being able to license your content out to Netflix. Now, Netflix, it's time to talk.
Get this started. Donnie.
So I'm speaking about it from Netflix's point of view first, business side, and then the business side for Arlette. So Netflix, great idea. Great idea. You're trying to bring black people over with Pop the Balloon. Makes sense. You're trying to get into live shows. So you want to be able to take some type of YouTube viewership and bring it to Netflix. Smart idea. I just think when it comes to the practice, you commodified it again, right? Like you took out all the aspects that made the show good and that made the show unique and then made it Hollywood. For me, it's bittersweet because I look at the show like, damn, okay, the casting, I understand you're going to make it more different cultures and stuff like that. The first guy that came onto that show felt like it was a Drake and Josh skit.
Ladies, you came out here. Relationships lasting longer than those balloons, all right?
There was nothing real about it. It just felt overly produced, highly produced. The skit felt like 106 in Park. You know, Yvonne, shout out to Yvonne. I know she's on Insecure and whatnot. But the host made it feel like it's so produced. Laugh track is in the back. Like, if this show is going to pivot into listen, we're going to do a live series right here, and it's going to be a dating show for all of Hollywood, and you get to see this real side of Hollywood that's trying to date, like the dude that came back from Love is Blind, okay, that makes sense. Other than that, if you're trying to take this concept of Pop the Balloon and bring it over here, it's not going to work. It looks terrible. It feels like Drake and Josh. It feels sitcom-y. It does not work. And if you need a creative strategist, you know, I have applied for the role. Just let me know. Now, on Arlette's side, taking a black product and then allowing it to be commodified and becoming executive producer, I'm not mad at you getting your money. Now, here's the thing when it comes to it. I know you have no say over what's going on. Why? Because you can see it within the casting. You can see it within everything. This is not your show anymore. And that's okay because you sold it off. And now for Netflix, it's like they could just umbrella it into their Love is Blind ecosystem. And it makes sense, but it completely negates the rawness that it has on YouTube. And maybe that was the point, right? And it's so split off that it's like, all right, I don't mind you getting your bag because you're still able to produce your own show on YouTube, which is a big win. Now, the only problem is that the population that this Netflix Pop the Balloon show does hit and yours doesn't because you're on YouTube and they're hitting a completely different audience. Every time they think of Pop the Balloon, that live is going to pop up before you, Arlette. And the problem with that is that representation of how good the show is, and I think how good Pop the Balloon show is, it's still not, that goodness is never going to be represented. The mediocrity, the jokes, the skits, the vibes of 106 in Park and Drake and Josh that the live show is going to be the overarching representation of Pop the Balloon, and you're missing out on the point of it. And the point of it was, damn, this is a really good casted show for black people and a dating show for black people. I just wish that our community could be represented in such a good light, even on the huge platform. You know, I don't mind it being on YouTube because I think on an independent scale, it just looks really good. But on the Main Street side, like, damn, like, why can't one of our shows get picked up and not commodified in this way? Pop the Balloon is part of a bigger moment. We got creators like Funny Marco with Open Thoughts, Drewski running Could Have Been Love, and P owning Black YouTube, and even Joe Budden with shaping podcasting and independent podcasting on his Patreon. These folks aren't just entertainers, they are needle movers. Building lanes, building networks, and ultimately building leverage. And I'll say this right now, I don't think we need to hand our best shows to these best networks just because they give the best checks. I would much rather you sell to a platform or a community or a corporation that actually understands the vision and understands the community. And if you have something like I believe Pop the Balloon was, if you have something that's so pivotal for our community, then don't give it up. And I'm glad that Arlette was able to keep her IP and she's able to continue to upload. But you're going to know that most of that audiences that's seeing Netflix Live is never going to click on an Arlette Armuli video. It's transferring from Arlette Armuli to Netflix, which is crazy to think about. I would much rather us build platforms rooted in culture than selling out to another one that may dampen our creative control on our own community. We should be controlling our voices. We should be controlling what we look like in the media. And I think Pop the Balloon was a great representation of that. And it shows what? It shows that a black creator can build something from scratch, attain an audience off of real people, non-monolithic characters, no controlling images, no stereotypes, not the mammy, not the matriarch, not the Jezebel, no, actual real people, and is able to catch fire, catch wind, and pull 1.5 million people every week to watch it. It's proof of concept. It's a case study. This case study also shows that when you do have this product in your hands, what it could look like when it's out of your hands. And I think this Netflix deal, and although I love Netflix as a company, you should buy them as a stock. I do think they completely commercialized and commodified her product, as they typically do, as corporations typically do to try to hit wider audiences. So let me know what y'all think. Did Netflix elevate the show? Did it? What other black creators are building something that we need to protect? I mean, I see in the YouTube scene, you see FD Signifier, Fab Socialism beforehand, but you see a lot of these video essays, like, be able to create a huge platform. But how are we able to make the big bucks and still be able to keep our story? If you like this, make sure you share. This is not just about reality television, but this is about media in general. This is about furthering our own narratives. I love y'all. Saadiq Ranks. See y'all next week. Simple.